Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Red Tool House. Now, many of us dream or have dreamed about having large tracts of land, having bunches of acreage. I know I did before we bought this place. It was a dream to be able to acquire a larger tract of land that was very rural. But there's a cost associated with having that land and being stewards of it. There's a deer standing in my barn. And being stewards of that land. So whether you have flat land or hilly land, whether you have pasture land or forested land, whether you have dry or wet land, if you want to be a good steward of that land and be able to utilize it, then you have to maintain it, and you have to do things you don't necessarily want to do to be able to maintain that. So come along with me, and I'm going to show you an example. My little white fuzzy buddy and I, we're going to go up here on the North Ridge, and I'm going to show you what we're dealing with, something I've been putting off for a while. Come on, fuzzy buddy. Hey. Is your seatbelt on? Brace for impact. Okay, so we're up here, come on. We're up here halfway up the North Ridge at the beginning of what I like to call the loop road. You can see it here on our map. And this is the main thoroughfare, if there is such a thing, to access all of our North Ridge. It's just one big loop and allows me to come in here and obviously check things out and get access to this entire portion of our property. But you can see right now I don't have expedient access simply because of storm damage. We have here a locust tree, decently mature locust tree, that decided to give up the ghost in one of our recent storms. So it came down crashing across our road and even took out a couple small maples here. So I need to get this cleaned up and get it out. But we're going to continue out the loop and just see how much of the loop is obstructed. I know on the top side of the loop, I have another dead ash that's fallen across the road. So I can't even begin to access with my tractor, with my side-by-side, with anything other than being on foot, the majority of the North Ridge, because these are my two access points only. So let's see about getting this out of the way. Are you going to help me, or are you going to drag it back out on the road? I'm muddy already. What did you get into? So since this is locust, I tried to cut stuff that could be fence post worthy into those lengths, and I'll stack them over here to the side. Everything else will just pile up like brush. So it looks like I got another one not even 50 yards away, so let's drive down there and get it too.
Oh, look, Timber. Do you see the turtle shell? Want the turtle shell? What?
So right here is a red maple that uprooted a couple years ago, and I cut it out. Well, now it looks like this, what is this? This is a snag of a cherry, fell uphill. So nothing too crazy here. So let's get it real quick. So why is it important to have access to this side of the property. Why is it important for me? I'm not running animals in here. I don't really come up here much at all, as you can tell by the way things are grown over. So why am I wasting my time fighting nature? Well, really, there's multiple reasons. To be a good steward of this land, I want to have access to it with my equipment so I can get here as quickly as possible if I need to. The primary reason would be in case we have a wildfire. I want to be able to get back in here, assess the situation to see if there is fire, then we could get it put out or put a fire line in, whatever the case may be, and even the road could serve as a fire line. Also, if there's a chance for trespassing, if I hear somebody in the valley and I know there's not supposed to be anybody in here, then obviously I can come investigate that pretty quickly. But also, just being able to regularly cruise this side of the land with my equipment, so my chainsaw and other things, that I can look to see, okay, do we have any deadfall? So anything like this, it's fallen across, then I can clean that up because it's blocking the road. But even deadfall elsewhere, if there's a snag that's getting ready to tear up a tree that I'm trying to save, then I could maybe take care of that. If I'm just looking to acquire firewood, then I come do a survey of that, look for standing dead, stuff that needs to come down or can be harvested when I'm ready for it to come down. And then I also want to keep an eye on things like erosion. So looking at, since we've got a lot of slope here, seeing how recent storms have either blown out my ditch lines or caused new issues. And we'll investigate that as we do the loop because there's multiple places where that can be an issue. Now here's an example of other things that I've got to look out for that can be very problematic. And that is a culvert pipe that I put in that just absolutely refuses to have water run through the culvert. It wants to go beside the culvert. I've put stone in it, I've done everything, and it is eroding all the way around the pipe and causing an issue. This is a bad slip area here. There was once a whole lot of fill. It slipped. There's a lot of spring, a lot of loose ground. This poplar tree, I kid you not, has actually moved about 5 feet since I've lived here. It's still alive. So I've got another big ash that's hung here that's got to come down, got to get that cut up. But I've got to figure out how to get this pointed in the right direction, get the water flow in the right direction. So that's going to require me coming up and bringing a piece of equipment up here to take care of that. Don't know why. It insists on going around behind. So we get these big downpours. All these leaves come running down off the mountain. Of course, there's always one stick that gets sideways. It causes a royal jam. Let's see if we can try to stuff some. Hey, go. Go on. Good boy. That was some work. Timber, shall we press on to see what other challenges we can face? Look here, Timber. Now we found the real thing. Look. Okay. Okay. Do you know what that is? You know what that is? You don't care. Now, if you sling it and tell me to go get it, then I'll care. We're not going to do that. So here's one that's fairly recent. So we've got a watershed that comes down here and has been undercutting this red oak that, of course, had some damage from whatever, may have been skidding from the logging operation 23 years ago. So it's finally got undercut and then fell, of course, right up the road. So you can see the side-by-side there. So we got to get this turkey all cut up. There's a decent saw log right here. So I can cut from that knuckle and maybe get a good red oak log out of that. So we won't cut that short, but we'll cut it long and see if we can still get around it. Easy, easy. Sweet Martha. Thanks for your help on that timber. Oh, have mercy. So we are at the halfway point. We're at the bottom of the loop road, getting ready to turn and go up the mountain. And man, I think I'm at 13 trees down. Redonkulous. Timber, care for a frosty beverage? So this is the first time having timber out. Thanks for the tail in the water. First time having timber out running alongside the side-by-side since his accident. It's about 2 weeks ago. He was running alongside me on the side-by-side coming up the driveway, and there's a little spot where the driveway has a little kind of a broken out place, so it's a little uneven, and he slipped just as he was beside the side-by-side, and this right rear leg got caught up under the wheel. So I ran over his, his left rear haunch. Is that the one? Yeah. And oh man, heard him yelp, scared me to death, thought I'd killed him. He was gimpy for about 4 solid days. He's got a little bit of road rash on his inner leg, but we kept an eye on it, no infection, nothing was broken. Man, he'd go to get up after laying down. It was like me getting up after I've been laying down, groaning and moaning and things cracking and popping. But he's all better now. And now he knows not to run right beside the side-by-side. And I know not to let him. Looks like that monster just fell and shattered right at the top of my road. My road comes up this steep spot and turns. So I barely had a spot to park on the flat. The big old red oak. She just busted all to pieces. Back over the hill first. Watch out, fuzzball. So why in the world does a white oak fall uphill across my road? This is a good sized white oak. Just a little gentle nudge out of the way, timber. Ooh, that was close. That was almost not gentle enough. Okay, so this dead ash that fell up the hill, across my road, is the last one of the loop. So we're at the top of the road coming back, and right next to our descent down to the house. And I'm going to winch this one out of the way. At least that's the plan. If you guys have been watching the videos here the last couple months, comment below if you think the audio is better. I got a new mic. My last mic was picking up some static and having some connectivity issues. I think this one's better. I hope so. It was 3 times the price. See how that goes. So let me know if it's sounding better. You're not getting any skips. I'll obviously know in post-production if it is or not. But as of right now, it doesn't seem to be an issue. Yeah, I gotta say, if you guys are looking for a winch, I'm not endorsing any specific brand of winch, but get a winch that has a remote. That makes all the difference in the world. It gives you the opportunity to come out here and eyeball things. All right, so I'm beat. The dog's beat. So that was 4 firm hours, hard hours of work, cutting those out. A little hot today, but so 4 hours. You're seeing a half day's worth of work just to maintain a road that I don't necessarily use, but once a month, if even that. I also discovered a couple places where I need to come up and do some maintenance. So that culvert that's being undercut, I got to do some backfill there. The road's getting washed out to the point that I probably couldn't get my tractor across there very easily. So there's obviously cost involved with just keeping this open and usable. Now you can go with the stun method. A lot of people do address that. And the stun method is fine. It's just know that at some point, if you had something, you had some infrastructure like roads, trails, paths, stream crossings created, all those type of things, and you go with stun, then if you ever want to go back and start utilizing that land again, it's going to cost you that much more to open it back up. So you have to weigh maintenance on one side, stun on the other, but then what's it going to take if we go back and open it all up? So just think about that. The dog and I are going to the house. I think he's going to jump in the water. I'm going to get a big cool drink and strip down to barely legal clothing amounts and try to cool off. And we'll save you guys from having any of that on camera. Well, I thank you all for watching. I pray you have a great week. Take care. Let's go. You're moving about as fast as I am. Hold on this time. Come on. Go under it, screwball. Really? Come on. Here. Come on. I'd appreciate if you drip your lips elsewhere. Okay. You need to take your hot breath elsewhere. You're steaming me up. Okay. You can take your fuzziness along now. Go elsewhere. It's like having a polar bear stand beside you.